Welcome to Win the Day. I'm Dan Koch, filling in for Pastor Nat Crawford. Today, we're going to talk about God partial to truth. Galatians chapter 2, verses 6 through 9. And from those who seem to be influential, what they were makes no difference to me. God shows no partiality. Those, I say, who seemed influential added nothing to me. On the contrary, when they saw that I had been entrusted with the gospel to the uncircumcised, just as Peter had been entrusted with the gospel to the circumcised, for he who worked through Peter for his apostolic ministry to the circumcised worked also through me for mine to the Gentiles. And when James and Cephas and John, who seemed to be pillars, perceived the grace that was given to me, they gave the right hand of fellowship to Barnabas and me, that we should go to the Gentiles and they to the circumcised. Name dropping is cheesy, but we all like to do it. There can be some benefits to it, like providing evidence for a case. In our country, they created a category in trials for expert witnesses. These are people who are experts in the subject. Now, it's a great advantage to have an expert witness establish the strength of your case. That's what the Judaizers were doing in Galatia. They were name-dropping experts or prominent church leaders whom they claimed backed their ideas that Gentiles needed to be circumcised. Paul said, God shows no partiality when it comes to people, but when it comes to the truth, God is very much partial to the truth. And Paul exposes the lie of these false brothers and their false gospel. He's been building a case for several verses now. First, he shows that the names being dropped, more than likely James, the younger brother of Jesus, and Peter, were all in agreement that Paul was to be the apostle to the Gentiles, something these false brothers did not realize. They probably assumed Paul was a rogue minister. But as we've learned previously, Paul chased accountability. Secondly, Paul shows that he is actually friends with these guys. These posers have been name dropping. They gave Paul the right hand of fellowship. They even affirmed his calling and recognized the grace on him to do this work, speaking of James and Peter and John. And lastly, through all that Paul has presented, he shows that his opponents are the ones guilty concerning the things they were charging him with. They were the liars. They were the ones perverting the truth. They were the ones running around without any accountability, bringing harm to the churches and causing division. The alleged strength of these false teachers and Judaizers is that they dropped the names of all the guys that they believed trumped Paul and whatever hierarchy of leadership they subscribed to. They believed that God is a respecter of person. Paul's point is the opposite. The truth really does matter to God. Paul makes his appeal to the truth of the gospel and how it saved his life, made him a part of Christ's church, and commissioned him to the Gentiles. And those who seek the truth would be blessed by his account of things, because God leads his people in the truth. And may you and I love the truth and be led always according to God's truth. Amen.